We're seeing things like the box bands, the raffia cords and fishing line. And seals obviously being very inquisitive, swim through them with their torpedo-shaped heads, but then they go on easily, but they don't come off. And then they just start cutting and cutting as the animal moves around, as the animal swims, and really just cuts their throats. Just a very long, horrible way to die. 2007, the aquarium started getting more and more involved because we started seeing more and more animals really right outside the building. The seals tend to sit at the end of the jetties, which makes it very difficult to sneak up on them. Once they're in the water, it's virtually impossible to try and get an entanglement off. And then we realized that actually, if you're in the water and you come up from underneath the jetties, we can actually often cut the band off without the seal even waking up. And it's been incredibly successful. We built this platform in the end with the high areas, and then we've also subsequently started a marine wildlife management program with the Waterfront, the V&A Waterfront, which assists both of us really and the seals, being able to get the seals to an area where we can help them. And it really just mitigates human wildlife issues so we can all live happily together.
So my main research focus is bioacoustics. So I'm really interested in animal communication and how animals are using sound in their day-to-day lives, and also how animals are affected by sound made by humans. And because of that, we go out into the marine environment and working at the seal colonies in Namibia and now more so in South Africa. We've been seeing animals that are entangled in human plastics, and particularly fishing line, fishing net, packaging straps, plastic bags and things like that. The Two Oceans are brilliant because they've been helping to facilitate our research. The Two Oceans guys have been monitoring the entanglements and obviously doing a lot of active disentanglement in association with the Oceans and Coast. My interest in cormorants is really from the behavioural perspective and looking at how they're using sound and particularly the development of chick calls. And again, being out into close to the colonies and close to the nests, as soon as you sort of see them close up, you see that they're full of different articles of plastic. So particularly cable ties, and then also fishing line. And we know from colleagues at Sandcob that actually the chicks actually get entangled in those straight off the bat. So basically they hatch and then they can actually get killed straight away by getting entangled in fishing line.
So we've got a campaign where we say to everyone we can really is cut anything that's a full circle, a full noose, whether it be a tiny thing around your milk bottle or a bigger noose. Often things blow into the rivers, blow into the sea, and then animals tend to swim into them, or birds swallow them, or whatever.
Our role is really just to highlight currently and to also, from the scientific perspective, document that scientifically, and then that will feed in hopefully to changes in policy in the future. Removal of plastics from the marine environment and better policies in terms of making sure that people aren't polluting, and perhaps using alternatives to plastics, perhaps in the fishing industry and things like that.
Very rarely a day goes by that we're not called to just come and assist in some way. I think it's the only harbour or working harbour in the world that actually has this kind of program, and it seems to be working extremely well.